Hey there. Have you ever stopped to think that language is, well, kind of like music? Today, we're going to tune into the hidden melody of Japanese, a secret code of high and low notes that can completely flip the meaning of a word on its head. And to really show you what I mean, we're going to start things off with a little puzzle. It's all about one single word said in one place by three different people. So here's the deal. We have three people, and they all say the exact same word, atatakai. But somehow what each of them means is totally different. So how in the world is that even possible? Okay, so picture this. A family is out shopping in a department store. The daughter is trying on a sweater. Her dad, the husband, walks over and says, atatakai. Her mom, the wife, takes a peek at the price tag and also says, atatakai. And then the daughter, feeling the soft fabric, says, atatakai. One sound, three completely different contexts. To solve this little mystery, we have to put on our linguistic detective hats. We need to crack the code of how Japanese sounds work. And that all starts with our very first clue. And that first clue is something called pitch accent. Just think of it as the secret melody of the language. And you'll see it's a totally different system from what we're probably used to in English. And here's the absolute key difference. In English, we use a stress accent. We make one part of a word louder, longer. We basically just yell it a little bit, like in Japanese. But Japanese, it doesn't get louder. Instead, it changes musical notes. It kind of sings the word. And you can really see this in action here. Every word in Japanese has its own little built-in melody. So, Nihon, for Japan, goes low, high, low. America starts low and then just keeps going up. And Indo, for India, starts high and then falls. Each word has its own unique musical signature. It's pretty cool, right? Okay, let's move on to our second clue, because it's not just about melody, it's also about rhythm. We've got to figure out how to count the beats in a Japanese word. And that beat is called a mora. For a second, just forget everything you know about syllables. A mora is the rhythmic heartbeat of Japanese. Every single one is given almost exactly the same amount of time, like a metronome is just taking along with every single sound. So check this out. Take the word shinbun, which means newspaper. In English, we hear two syllables, two beats, shin-bun. But in Japanese, that's four mora, four equal beats, shi, n, bu, n. Even that little pause in kippu or the long vowel in noto, they each get their own full beat. And that's what gives Japanese speech its very distinct, even-paced rhythm. Okay, so we've got the melody from pitch and the rhythm from mora. Now, with those two things in our back pocket, we can finally uncover our last clue, the specific types of melodies that almost every single word in standard Japanese has to follow. Now, this is the really crucial part. Pretty much every word in standard Japanese fits into one of just four melodic shapes. It can start high and then drop down, it can rise up in the middle and then fall, or it can rise up and stay high. The only real difference between those last two is that one forces the next word to be low, while the other just stays flat. That's it. Every word plays by one of these four rules. So you might be thinking, okay, why does this matter so much? Well, let's look at the classic example that trips up basically every Japanese learner, the word hashi. This is wild. If you say haishi, starting high and then dropping, you're talking about chopsticks. If you say it low then high, you mean bridge. And if you say it low then high and just keep that pitch up, you mean edge. So it's not just about having an accent. Singing the wrong tune literally changes the dictionary definition of the word you're saying. Okay, so there we have it, our three big clues. Pitch instead of stress, mora for the rhythm, and those four fundamental accent patterns. We have everything we need. Let's head back to that department store. All right, it's time to solve the mystery of atakai. Let's break down exactly what the husband, the wife, and the daughter were really saying with their own unique melodies. All right, first up is the husband. He walks over to his daughter who's trying on the sweater. What he says sounds like one word, but you have to listen really closely to the music he's using. You see, he's actually saying a two-word phrase. First, atta, which means was there, and he combines that with the question particle kai. Then he adds that rising question tone at the end. So he's asking, attakai? Was there one? Or did you find a good one? It has absolutely nothing to do with being warm. Okay, now for the wife. Remember, she's looking at the price tag, and her reaction is totally different. What she says sounds like atakai, but the rhythm and the pitch tell a different story. It's actually two completely separate words. There's a short, sharp ah of surprise,
followed by takai, which means expensive. That little pause and the shift in melody change everything.
And that brings us to our final person, the daughter, who's actually wearing the sweater. And she is the only one who is actually saying the single word atatakai, meaning it's warm. She's just using the word's normal built-in pitch pattern with a simple, neutral falling tone at the end. It's a plain, simple statement of fact. This sweater is warm. So, puzzle solved. But this is so much more than just a clever language trick. It really shows you how deeply connected sound and meaning are, and how the music of a language is every bit as important as the words themselves. And that kind of leads to one last thought. We've just uncovered the musical rules of Japanese, but every language has its own secret melody. So it makes you wonder, right? What are the hidden rules of pitch and rhythm and intonation that you're using in your own language every single day without even realizing it?